Ah,
Dan, are you able to record and then send it to Jordan?
I suppose I could, yes. Let me
thank you,
see.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, thank you.
Are we up?
Up and at 'em.
Take care. Dan.
How much is this thing?
It's like 150 each.
Bob, you have Twitter, correct?
I do. I'll take care of Twitter right now.
Okay.
Dang, this thing's sensitive, man. You gotta really talk into it.
You gotta tuck into the front too.
Okay, got it.
You can hear us, right, Dan?
Yes.
Oh,
To the power play.
no, I think the Leafs are to the power. That's what I was saying. They got the puck because they penalized. Let's see. Trip of Tavares. There's a CVS right there. Quarter of a mile from parking lot.
We should be good, I think. Gentlemen. Perfect. Should be good. Perfect.
Turn the audio on. But I don't know if that'll pick me up from over here. But if I join, I can use my microphone on my Mac. You get my drift.
What do you mean?
So I use the microphone on here, so it'll pick it up probably better. You won't hear me twice. Some have no volume on this. I'm gonna talk into this.
I mean, but then it's still gonna pick it up on this mic.
You think about
Yeah.
like Dan can hear me right now?
I mean, we can just pass the mic back and forth.
We can whatever you want.
Yeah. I think it'll be echoey. If not. But if you wanted to, yeah. All right, Dan, you good to record? All Gucci. Daniel, can you hear us?
All right.
Can you hear us?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You good to record?
Yep.
All right. Just start it and then I'll start the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode that's been in the works. You're live from the Truist, episode 154 of the Go Get That podcast. It is it's beautiful out here in Philly. A very cool course. Expect low scoring. Greens are very receptive. Rough isn't too long, but the bunkering's really cool and the greens are really cool. So I'm excited to see how the players play this week. Rory said he's going to kind of treat it as hit driver and figure it out from there. Which is a little unfortunate because I feel like this style course is meant to be played from the fairway, but whatever gets it done, whatever gets it done in the least strokes is how the players will play it, and that's how we're hoping Spieth will do it because he looked pretty good today. He had a lot of good iron shots. He had one horrendous swing on 8 that we're not gonna mention, but a lot of really good iron shots. No putts really fell, but the driver looked good. He had a nice 1 or 2 yard fade with the driver, which was nice. Putt on 9 did fall. Putt on 9 did fall. But so yeah, we're feeling good. I liked what I saw, and high hopes for this week.
Good to be here. It's tough that I cannot make it out to Philadelphia this week. I think that'd be cool to have the trio out in an event. We'll get that done soon, I'm sure. But yeah, no, it's cool to see the videos you guys put up on social media. So if you haven't had a moment to scroll through Twitter or Instagram, there's some good content up there. Looks like some good shots were hit. The course looks cool. It looks very northeastern and kind of sort of rustic in that way. Was there anything that kind of surprised you getting on property, maybe about the course or who's playing well, or I guess it could be any of the above, but I was thinking more specifically the course. Um, and also if that kind of leads into the winning score expectation. Uh, I guess that's also a question I kind of something I'm curious about.
Yeah, I think one of the main things, the rough is like not up.
Yeah, I really thought the rough was gonna be up.
Yeah, the rough is uh you probably won't see many buried lies, even going back to last week at Craig Ranch. I mean, there were some lies last week that were kind of iffy. This week the rough looks pretty playable. I mean, it's kind of at that length though. Maybe you'll get a fly or two and it'll be tough to judge. So we shall see. But yeah, I mean, Bob and I walked the front nine today with Spieth. It's just going to be scoreable. I mean, the eighth hole, he'd have a bad shot. That hole is going to play hard, but the rest of them, it seems, I mean, you can make birdies. There's not a whole lot of holes out there where I'm thinking, uh, par is going to be a good score, but we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, the prevailing thoughts probably it's going to be pretty low. The rain will be interesting. I think Saturday there's a chance of some pretty fun or high winds, which will be interesting. I think who was I reading today that kind of mentioned that if you get some high winds, it might be interesting. I forgot, but anywho, yeah, we'll be scoreable. But it was a fun walk, right? It was
Yeah,
cool.
I'd say it was. I was really shocked about the rough personally. I thought they were gonna have it up. I like that it's not up around the greens. You'll see balls roll off these greens pretty far, even though it's like it's still rough, but like you'll have to be creative. It's not like that sort of you go long and it stays within 5 feet of the green because of how long the rough is. I like that aspect of it, but in terms of the landing zones off the tee, I would have liked to see the rough up a little bit more, but it's not. So just kind of you really do have to make birdies. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if someone's 5 under through five tomorrow. Um, Five's very eagleable hole. You can run it up. Um, 3 and 4 are tricky, but not hard. And 1 and 2 are very scoreable. So I assume, Dan, in your scouting report, you probably birdied 1 and 2, most likely. But those are my takeaways. I mean, it's just very Northeast golf. I expect people who play Northeast golf well to play well this week. I expect people with good short game to play well this week. Um, just because of how you will have to be creative around the greens with the slopes and the undulations on the surfaces. The bunkering's really cool. I think that I don't know how many bunkers will actually be in play, but the bunkering's really cool. So I hope to see the wind get up and see some balls kind of flare into bunkers from some players, preferably not Spieth, obviously. But I mean, yeah, I this isn't a course I don't think that fits Spieth that well, but he is playing well enough where if he has a good week with the putter, I think he will contend just because of how he's hitting his irons right now. And as long as he can avoid that one foul ball, I really like where he's sitting going into tomorrow. Sorry.
Bob and I sharing a microphone here. Yeah, just to add, it's pretty cool. I was um a little inside the go get that pod with me here. Bob was just taking a nap off the red eye about 30 minutes ago before we went live. I actually went on Tourcast on my phone to kind of look at the green surfaces. Highly recommend if you're listening right now just to go on Tourcast and kind of look at the greens because it's pretty darn cool. You can kind of see
Seven's awesome.
how undulated. Yeah, I mean,
Seven's an awesome.
16's a pretty cool green. You
Yes.
can just see all the they're undulating. I mean, you can go look at previous weeks on tour and compare the greens this week to your tour courses that we see on a yearly basis. These greens are pretty cool. I think that's probably the highlight of this course. It's gonna be tough to make putts, I think. There's gonna be a lot of movement. I was just looking at Tourcast. Like you're gonna be playing quite a few putts, I think, outside the hole, possibly, especially if they can, get the speeds up a little bit. But yeah, the green surfaces are far from flat, and I mean, we'll be at Oakmont. Well, we will be at Oakmont, us and Spieth in June, but I don't think they're at that level of undulation, but they're pretty darn. There's some
They're certainly better
subtleties
than
that
an average PGA Tour course.
exactly. Yeah, that's well said.
I can appreciate the different
Yeah.
kind of style of golf course. Um, I'm assuming it won't get up to 31 under, so I'm not gonna say it's gonna produce a score similar to Ranch.
No, it's not going to get there.
I think sometimes birdie fests, which are common on tour nowadays, at least this one will look a little bit different and a little bit more unique. And I think so. It makes me wonder like what the defense of the course is, and I guess it's probably the weather, right? If the wind blows, trying to land it on certain spots on these greens, it could be tricky. And then if they firm up, the target just gets smaller on. I mean, are they large greens? Or are they pretty small?
I mean,
Eight's big.
it really depends. I mean, there are also a lot of greens that are really big, but a whole quarter of the green is a slope that the ball won't stop on, and it will come back to another part of the green. So I don't even know how I'd classify them. The size of the greens doesn't really tell the story in terms of like what part of the green the ball can end up on. Kind of like Pinehurst, except it's a lot more funnel in versus funnel off. But I mean,
They're pretty average green size.
they're pretty average green sizes. I mean, the defense of the course is definitely the greens. I mean, these are going to be really tough greens to get up and down. Like you're going to have a lot of 5-footers. But it'll be a putting contest. Whoever putts the best this week will probably win the tournament. Um, because you're just gonna have a lot of shots that are gonna end up 15 feet from the hole, and whoever makes them makes them. That's kind of what I gathered. I mean, Spieth kind of played the worst nine you could have really done, like scoring wise today. Um, but yeah, that's seven.
Is were there other, I guess, who he was playing in a pro-am, right? So you probably didn't you'd get to see anybody else out there with them, but did you see any other pros or people on the range that looked dialed? I think one of the cool parts about going to Pinehurst last year was seeing everybody hit balls on the range and kind of being like, oh, that guy can't hit the ball right now, or
Yeah, I mean,
that person looks locked
the
in.
range scene wasn't great. Like there were a lot of people standing behind the players, so I couldn't really tell who was hitting the ball well and who wasn't.
Far up early.
Yeah, Rose had a strut to him, I felt. So maybe it'll be a Rose week.
Ricky
But
grinding.
Be kind of
yeah,
funny.
Ricky was searching.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't say I'm too surprised by that.
Spieth was at the range after that.
Spieth went back to the range after his 9. So
Okay.
I will say it's pretty cool here. Honestly, one of this venue is like everything's convenient. Putting green's right next to the range, and you walk in. It's not like the range is the first thing you walk by, which is one of the bigger pros I think of this venue. It's not like a massive piece of property. Some of the holes are close. Um,
Very close.
but yeah, Spieth was working hard. Bob and I went in the shop to look around. 30 minutes later, we came back. He was there. We watched him play 9, walked out. He was at the range for probably what, 2 hours today. I don't know if he was grinding necessarily, but or grinding because things weren't good because he was obviously hitting it good in the 9 holes that we saw, but clearly trying to dial in things, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Um, Greens being close part. Um, you could tell that this course wasn't designed for a tournament to be played at it. The routing isn't great for spectators in some spots. The third hole is pretty brutal. The what's kind of cool is when 3 has a back pin, you're going to see tee shots on 3 end up on 13 green when it's a back pin because just over the green will roll onto the 13th green. And you'll kind of have to see how that works. I don't really know how better to describe it than that. But I mean, you'll have people in the green side bunker on 3. So that's interesting because again, a lot of the courses that the PGA Tour plays are TPCs, and those courses are literally designed for tournaments to be held there. So you don't see that often. But that's something I picked up on. A lot of greens are very close to each other. A lot of tee boxes are very close to each other. 14 and 4T are on the same box. Was there another one that shared a tee box?
Well, off top.
Yeah, I just felt like there was, but
So pace of play could be a bit of an issue then.
yeah, it definitely could. It definitely could. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, it could definitely. I think that what was pace of play today? Would you say it wasn't that?
I mean, the AMs were not helping.
No, no, they weren't. That's
The
very
amateur
true.
partners-
No, the amateur partners for Mr. Spieth could roll the rock. They made a few 50 footers. But
Without the putt that
Yeah.
Which one? That one?
Spieth gave the M on 3 that he.
Oh yeah, that was disgusting. Spieth decided to have the am putt from his ball and have all three ams give him the read on a 40-footer. The am made it. Spieth did not. So yeah, that was casually did. And then some guy put it to like 10 feet for eagle from like 240.
Yeah.
That was an unreal shot. That guy was
Left 5.
yes, it was. But yeah.
A very
What,
nonchalant pro-am for Spieth per usual. It's actually
Serious.
yeah, it's pretty cool, Dan. I mean, you saw it obviously at Pinehurst last year. We've seen it. It's pretty cool to see him go about like a pro-am round for a tour event versus how he preps for a major. Like he's not practicing around the green shots today at all like he would at a major. Very chill vibe. He wasn't taking a whole lot of time over many shots. Which for the people that are concerned about the putting, I mean, he was not really reading them fully. He wasn't really that in tune with it. Cam wasn't out. Cam was on the range. Cam wasn't out there for the 9 holes. Yeah.
that's good. That's good. So it seems like it was a mostly positive day one on property.
Yeah, no, the iron striking that he had, literally the only two swings that were poor today were with 3-wood. It was 3-wood on 8. It was into the wind. It was 3-wood on the. Oh, that stinks. Come on with the Maple Leafs.
Is it driver on most holes, you think? Or is
It's
for
going to be
somebody
driver
like him-
on almost every hole, I think. On 9, he hit 3-wood. I expect him to hit 3-wood there tomorrow. Just because it stays short of everything, you could have mishit it and it'd be okay. What was I talking about before that stupid goal?
3 woods and 4
Yes.
lefts?
Yeah, he had a double cross on 5 and then a just I don't even know how to describe the shot on 8. I mean, it was 70 yards from the pin where it ended.
Chills.
Short and right.
And he didn't play it.
And he didn't play it. Absolutely not. No bogeys on Wednesdays, Dan. He gave himself a mulligan. Yes. Gave the fan the thumbs up to pick it up and take it home. So
That's good.
always
The
giving
vibes
back.
are good.
Yeah.
I wish this course would present more of a challenge. But it seems like with the rough down and potentially the winds not as high as they could be, it seems like we're gonna kind of in line for another 20 under, which is a little
Yeah,
disappointing.
but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun 20 under week. It's not gonna be like TPC Southwind where it's just 20 under and it's not enjoyable and it's just very boring tournament. I think it'll be a fun tournament. It's a fun golf course. It's just too easy for the pros and then there's just not enough defense. But it really is very Oakmonty. It's very Oakmonty besides the scoring.
Yeah. That's good. How's the
Yeah.
food? Did you guys try any of it?
We got a nice breakfast this morning. There's been a lot of coffee for me today.
Yeah.
Had a nice burger for dinner.
Yeah. Was
yeah.
there any what's the like I guess I meant at the course, but
Yeah, no, yeah, we didn't eat at the course. But just your standard PJ Tour food.
okay.
Really.
Yeah. It's all right. Because I was thinking about Pinehurst and about those
BLT.
BLTs that
Chips.
were
It's a great value. It was a good
Yeah, that
bang
was-
for your buck.
right. Well, relative to everything else,
Yeah.
those were thrusted down the gullet multiple times.
Multiple times, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Someone said take all the bombers. It is a bombers course, but like I don't think it's as big a bombers course as maybe someone thinks. Like you don't need distance to get around here. Like it's a very short golf course. It's just you can hit driver and not get punished almost all the time. So I don't know if I take all bombers. I'm not taking all bombers in my triple double. Um, where y'all staying? Staying at the Holiday Inn. Very chills. Very chills. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, any
Trevor
I
Darcy.
don't have a ton more to add, just on this week because I think I've garnered all my information from seeing what you guys put out there, and the little research I've done seems like there's some holes that will play tricky, and there's some holes that you're probably hoping to birdie 3 times this week.
One and two are those holes. I
Okay.
noticed that. 1 and 2, he's gonna have to play 1 and 2, 5 under for the week if he wants any chance.
Okay. Interesting. Just like gettable greens or lengthwise or
Just both flip wedges with
yeah.
probably 2 or 3 funnel pins possible.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, the way you're describing it makes it seem like it could be as you put it, fun, right? Like that'll be those kind of things are fun. Are wedges grabbing? Like, is it a lot of spin yet, or are we just at they're just kind of receptive, so it's easy to hit
Yeah,
it
I
to
mean
the
they're
target?
spinning. I mean you're still not gonna get like spin out of the rough. They're not that receptive, but we'll see what the rain does to it Friday. If that comes. But yeah, no, they're not that receptive. Spinning for sure. Like if you're in the fairway, it's gonna basically do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So that'll lead to scores for sure. Um, this course reminds me of a Texas golf course. I disagree with that. This doesn't give me much Texas vibes, I don't think. All the grass is fairly not grainy. Which I've noticed. The greens have some shine on them, so a little bit of grain there. So that's interesting. But I don't know. What do you think?
Regarding what?
Texas, similar
No,
to Texas style? I don't think it's
I
similar.
don't see Texas. It's pretty northeast. I mean, having been to my our fair share of northeast events, having been, it's very northeasty. Um, I don't see Texas. But that's just my opinion. Uh, it's cool though. It's a cool little track. Happy it's here. It's fun to see new courses.
Yeah.
Tillinghast, legendary designer in these parts. Yeah, it'll be cool because I don't. The thing about it is it's a par 70, so like scoring could be good, but I don't. Here's what's weird. It's like there's only 2 par 5s. There's no drivable fours. There's some sharp fours, but I don't like feel you're gonna have a million like tap and birdies. Theoretically on the par 5s you should, but like these greens again, they have some oomph to them. Like you're gonna have to hit some really good putts. The stroke's gonna need to be good. Spieth missed like a 5 footer today on one. I don't know. It's tough to tell when you're there to see if the stroke's good or not. But like if you don't start your putts online here, I mean some of these putts break. Like you can miss a lot of putts. So yeah, I think if you can make a lot of putts from that 10 to 20 foot range this week, that's probably the thing I'd be looking out for.
Alright. So putting contest in
Yeah.
some sense seems like a place where you're losing quite a few strokes by making a bogey.
Yeah.
Like bogey avoidance is going to be there's not really holes to make.
I mean, we walked the front, and I mean, 8, you're gonna make bogeys on.
I mean, eight's gonna play
3, 2, 3.
pretty close to. Eight's gonna play pretty close to 1 and 2, I think. I think there's really no trouble on 1 and 2. I think all of those holes are going to play in the 3-4 to 3-6 range.
Yeah,
With
how you bogey 1 2.
Yeah, I really don't know how you bogey 1 and 2. Besides 8, I saw every hole on the course besides like 11 and 12. Yeah, bogeys really can't happen. Yeah, the par threes are short besides 8. I mean, 14 is a flip wedge. Not sure how you bogey that one. 3 is a tough hole, but it's a big green. That should just be center of the green all 4 days and play it in 1 under because you make a putt. Um, I like the par threes a lot. 14 is going to be a really cool hole because it's a flip wedge, but it's a diabolical green. And if you get too aggressive, you will be punished. But you still shouldn't make a bogey on that hole. It's a flip wedge. So yeah, in terms of there really aren't many bogeys out there. So there should be 2 bogey-free rounds this week, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
See, I'm curious to see, as the days go on, how it ultimately plays. Um, how hard it plays. I imagine it'll play under par the first 2 days, and then we'll see if the wind picks up Saturday if it plays a little bit tougher. But um, I don't know. I'm excited that you guys are there and get to kind of take it all in firsthand, boots on the ground, and I'm glad that the
I
front
mean,
nine of today looked decent.
it's a fun course to be at, I think, for a tournament.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
second that. Just looking at 1 and 2, the only way you're making bogey is if you get like a back pin and you go long. Because if you're chipping from long of some of these greens, you can't go long. Because it's just diabolically fast going back down the hill. So yeah, I hope we get some back pins on 1 and 2. Because I think that'll make it a little bit tougher because you can't get like that aggressive because if you go long, you're in trouble. Yeah, just looking at the weather though. Um, Saturday gust up to 32, which should be
Yes. Love
fun.
that.
Yeah, I mean it's only 4 to 12 sustained, but like as Mr. Spieth's least favorite word, gusts will be occurring.
Yeah.
That word was brought up today.
Yes, it was brought up on 7 when he hit a poor wedge. Um, but yeah, no, excited for the week. Excited to get to CVS tomorrow morning to get some sunscreen. Took a beating today, Bob and I did. Thankfully, Friday it won't be needed,
Yes, I am.
but
I'm very susceptible to the sun.
yeah, second that.
Yeah. The screen is doing you no favors either, really.
Yeah,
I don't think the screen is really displaying far from the truth. It's about that red in the mirror as well.
Yeah. It'll be fun. It's a good start to a good week though. That's
yes,
you're
It
having a
is.
good
It was
time.
it was a fun day. It was.
Yes.
It was a long day. I'm very tired, but
Spieth got a couple go birds, which
Oh,
was nice. I got to ask Spieth about the Cowboys getting George Pickens. Uh, had a nice conversation about that. Told me he's happy to get someone across from CD Lamb. He was very interested to see how it'll impact the whole Aaron Rodgers situation with what Rodgers will do. Because,
really?
uh, yeah, Spieth's a talker. Yeah, I brought that up. He was happy to chat.
Where
Um,
how'd you get into the conversation?
he was
Like,
signing after the 9 holes around 9 green.
oh,
I didn't have him sign anything, but I'm like, "Hey Jordan, thoughts on the Pickens trade?" And he had a wry grin on his face, and we chatted up for a couple minutes, which was cool.
yeah, we got to watched him deny someone who was trying to have him sign a Chambers flag to sell on the market.
nice.
He was like, "No, I'm gonna have to sign this to someone." He's like, "No, no, to nobody." And he's like, "Sorry, no can do."
Yeah.
It was. That guy was a thug.
That guy went woke and he got bent.
He did.
So,
He did.
um,
That's questions.
it's
Minus 17 is not good enough to get the job done, but
fine. I think they're just saying
I
like good enough week. Like
I
what's
would I
the
would be happy with that. Yes.
yeah, I kind of given what we've seen or what you guys have seen and expressed, it feels weird to not expect a whole lot in terms of a result. Like I think he should play well, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't score well.
I wouldn't
Um,
either. I could see this just being one of those weeks where
just kind of meh is kind
I
of
could
the
see this
vibe I'm
being one of
getting.
those weeks where you just he just doesn't get anything to fall.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously the takeaway through the first nine
I
holes.
I after watching 3 or 4 holes and just watching how much he was misreading the greens. Granted, we didn't see him putt much before the round, so maybe he hasn't putted much yet. But Pinehurst came to mind. It could be one of those weeks where it's just ice cold with the putter
Yeah, I
and
hope
really
not.
good ball striking.
I imagine he'll read them a little bit more thoroughly these next 4 days. But
Yeah, for sure.
are there any like specifics uh of things you'd like to see this week other than continued progress? I was trying to rack my brain a little bit about this as we kind of got closer to the pod of like, man, what would make this a good week outside of because
I'd like
I
to
don't
see him
really see him winning to
when the
be honest
putter
with
gets
you.
cold. If he's hitting the ball well and the putter is cold, the first bad swing cannot result in a bogey. Like, it can't be 4 holes of hitting it to 12 feet, missing all 4 of them, then hitting a loose iron, shitty chip, missed putt. All of a sudden, we're 1 over when he's played good golf for 5 holes. That's what I don't want to see this week. When the putter gets cold, he needs to make up for it with an up and down when he hits a bad shot. That's what I'd like to see specifically this week. Because it's very easy to get frustrated when everyone's making birdies, but it certainly can't be bogeys. So it can't be letting that frustration turn into really stupid, sloppy bogeys because that will cost you a shot and a half around here.
Yeah.
So that's mine specific.
It's a good question, Dan, because when he was signing around 9 green, a fan yelled at him, "Save it for next week, Jordan." And it's funny because we sit here right now in our beautiful hotel room, and it's like he's going for the career Grand Slam next week, which is I'm sitting here right now. I want him to play well, but like obviously, if you give me a win this week in person or a win next week, I'm taking next week. Um, so what's he need next week? He's going to need probably really good long iron play. He'll get a couple of those this week. I mean, there's some flip wedges as we were mentioning, but there's some girthy par fours here. Eight's a girthy par three. You're going to get an abundance of those holes next week. So playing the hard holes well this week, I think would be nice because, I mean, what, 15 pars next week per round is probably not going to kill you. But good short game would be nice too. Just kind of looking at Quill already for next week a little bit. Short game's going to need to be really good. So it's really just, I mean, he's obviously trying to win this week, but it's, you know, definitely one eye looking ahead to next week, I think, for him and for us, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think that's right. And you can take steps towards making next week better. Obviously, I'm not saying I don't want him to really be in contention this week. I think that would be a great sign, but I'm not sure that this is a place that like on paper I
no,
feel
it's
like,
not.
oh yeah, this is going to be a great week, you know.
But I feel like this style of Jordan Spieth is fitting up really good for the next 2 majors coming up. Which is interesting because yes, I know it's probably an opening 75 at Oakmont, but like I'd be
Be
really
that for a lot of
shocked.
people.
I'd be really shocked if he hits the ball like this week and doesn't find himself in the conversation Friday afternoon next week. Um, because to be in the conversation next week, you really only probably have to be 5 under through 2 rounds, 6 under maybe.
I signed for that.
Yeah.
AC won at what, 8?
I
Yeah.
think I'd sign for 5 after 2 rounds next week.
Yeah.
AC won at 8.
I think we'll know this week very early on. I mean, not to be on the negative side, if the putter goes cold tomorrow, it's pretty depressing because then all of a sudden he probably ends up shooting 1 under or even, and that's
Yeah.
probably out of the tournament. But if he hits the ball like he did today and the putter cooperates, I could see a opening 64, opening 63 tomorrow. Which would be chills.
Yeah. I think it's all about the putter.
It is. It's a putting contest this week, but he's definitely hitting the ball well enough to give himself those putts for birdie and not par, which I think is good for next week, which is obviously the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
His swing looks more loose. No, I haven't noticed that, but there is one foul ball in the bag still, which isn't good.
I think one thing I think he's getting his hands in front of his body better.
Yeah.
Like it definitely looks more in rhythm.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
like the turns are it's like at a spot where I think he feels like he can turn and burn.
Yeah.
And the arms aren't ripping down through impact the way that I think sometimes they can, um, which creates uh, some issues or just inconsistencies. I
Yeah.
think it's very it gets up to a good spot at the top and then it just comes through nicely and on plane and in rhythm and he's done a good job and just got make a few putts and get the swag walk going and some good rounds will follow. So
Yeah. I think we'll see one really good round this week, regardless.
yeah,
Uh,
I think that's a decent goal. See a 65 or better would once
I'd like to see a 64. I really don't think that's that.
okay.
I mean, we'll see 62s. We'll probably see one or two. We'll probably see 2 or 3 62s this week.
Yeah, 8 under.
We definitely could. There definitely could be a 59 this week.
That's kind of disappointing.
Um,
Smaller field doesn't help.
I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, there's some courses I don't like to see it, but like the Travelers is cool because like the Travelers usually plays to a 17, 18 under winner, but there's been 4 or 5 sub 60 rounds there. So when the pins are in the right spots, on the day that the pins are easy, you could definitely see 59. But I bet the low score of the week 60. That's
60.
my guess.
Yeah, I think we get a Cantlay 61 out of the gate tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that's a great segue to the point where I am all over Patrick Cantlay this week, and will be using him in my triple double if I have not used him twice already.
Yeah, I'll be joining you on that.
What?
I said I'll be joining you on that. Mr.
Yes.
Cantlay is quite the northeastern. This course feels like if it was 500 yards longer, it would be a BMW championship.
Yeah.
And that to me screams Patrick Cantlay. And he actually played pretty well at
I mean, yeah. I mean, we were
Provincetown,
talking about
so
this. Like, the difference between here and Oakmont is that the greens are firmer and every hole's 60 yards longer.
which is
Like,
chilling from Oakmont.
yeah. Yeah. So I'll be using Cantlay. Um, Yes, along with Team Rose. And
Inspired by a Rose pep in his step. That's pretty
yes.
chills.
Yes. And then Matt Fitz.
Ooh,
Saw hit a ball on it.
We did. Ball that should not have found the fairway and did.
that's not a bad. He's been quiet this year. Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I think he's turning a corner though. I really do.
Play a couple.
I could see that. I am also going Cantlay. For the reasons I've laid out. Keegan Bradley, Northeastern guy, playing pretty well. Seems like
Frog.
a lot of people are on Keegan. Seems like a win that could just kind of get him over the top and actually not lock in his Ryder Cup spot, but put him in the mix of like, Keegan's gonna be right around that 6, 7, 8 area when it comes Ryder Cup time. Which is going to make his decision as captain interesting. And then I'm closing out with Michael Kim, just because why not? He finally took a week off, and um, I think he's just been playing well, and it seems like a week where he'll play well again and, get a T8, and you'll feel pretty good about the cash that rolls in. So those are my three.
Cash is king in the triple double.
It is.
Oh man, I actually like how we've all used Cantlay. I already used Cantlay twice, which is hilarious. We all used him at Pebble, and then I used him at the Masters. And he was terrible at Pebble for all of us. And the Masters, he wasn't much better. My three, I'm going a Bulldog, not the Bulldog, Brian Harmon, but Bulldog, Russ Henley. I think a lot of people like him this week. Um, yeah, he's Mr. Consistent, and you need consistency in the triple double, and you need cash, and it's a signature event. Writes itself. I am going Daniel Berger. Been playing great golf. Seems like it's time for him to contend. Um, played really well at the Heritage too. I was looking at.
I'd like to shout out Jay Spieth for that 62, making my use at the Byron Nelson well worth.
I used him too.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Yes, both were
Very
used.
much.
A great Spieth use is
It would have
pretty.
been very poor if he had missed the cut.
Yes, no,
But
wouldn't have been
that-
good for us.
That truly is why making the cut matters. Because those Sunday rounds can lead into following weeks. And it happened at Pebble. It happened last week. I mean, he was pretty close to missing the cut on Friday at the Byron Nelson.
Yeah, no, he was a. I think he was under 50% chance to make it on Data Golf at one
Yes.
point. It was ugly, but last play I'm going Fleetwood. He's Mr. Consistent. He's Mr. Loser, but he's Mr. Consistent. He's for the Data Golf people, 8 green boxes and 9 tries. He's a cash. He just prints money. Um, he ain't gonna win, but if he can give me a top 10, would be good cash for myself, which is what I need. I'm actually think I've bridged the gap a little bit because Bob missed a week, which helped. We're all within 3 million, so yeah. I mean, it can change on a dime if one of us hits an outright this week, which it's been a minute. I don't. Uh, oh, I think Minwoo won in Houston, right? All right, so Bob hit Minwoo in Houston, so it really hasn't been that long. But
Congrats to me.
yeah, we're pretty spread out. I mean, both of you guys have Cantlay, but besides that, we're all over the board, which kind of makes sense with a new venue. It's not, you don't fully know what to expect. It's kind of funny. Yeah, none of us are really on Bombers when we're saying it's a Bombers course, but I think we say that a lot. It doesn't end up being that way. It's interesting. I'm kind of thinking about it now. Everyone talks about Bombers Paradise Wingfoot was because the rough was long. The rough isn't that long this week. And it's not like an overwhelmingly long golf course. So sure, length always helps, but
It's funny
I do want to
because
play here.
I think if Bryson was on tour, he'd probably win this event by 5.
Hmm.
To be honest, just with his, because he's so good at starting putts online, and he could literally swing out of his shoes every tee ball.
Yeah.
And
There's like no trees.
there's no trees. Like this course is like, wouldn't be surprised if Liv ends up here in the future just for Bryson to shoot another 58 that only gains 7 shots to the field.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But if anyone has any last questions, please put them in the chat. To answer. No, we did not go to the Creator Classic. We exited the premises before that started.
Yes, waiting 30 minutes for a bus, which was
Oh, it was far more than 30 minutes. It was closer to an hour than 30 minutes. It was very poor.
yeah. Someone asked if Brian Harmon's in the field.
Hope so.
Is Harmon not in the field? I didn't see him today.
Would be a huge loss for the tour.
Yeah, he's in the field. I think everyone not named Scheffler is in the field.
Yeah. It's a big week. Good prep for Q Hollow. Unless your name is Scheffler, I suppose.
Yeah. He's
Well,
at home chilling.
I'm sure Scheffler's doing just fine.
Yeah. Yes. That's all I got though. I excited.
Yeah.
Good pairing too for you guys to follow, Minwoo and Mav. Good players, but not necessarily the like biggest crowd draw.
Correct.
It's not like it's
I
a
mean,
Rory
sure-
Thomas pairing.
Same.
I'm sure Minwoo will have a nice crowd. I don't know anyone who's going to watch for McNeely, but
Probably the Under Armour fans because they know.
yeah. But great question, Ezra. We were literally asking why Mickelson wasn't invited into the field this week. The fans certainly wanted to see it. The fans certainly want to see it. Saw more High Flyers gear than we did Sunday Red. Always nice to keep in mind. Always nice to keep in mind.
I was doing some research. Do you guys know who has the course record here?
No, but I'd love to guess if it's someone we could like figure out.
Yeah. Well,
All right,
I mean, I know who it is.
Give us like a hint.
Well, I feel like any hint that I'll give you will give it away.
I knew they played a senior event here.
Did it happen in a tournament?
Supposedly, yes.
There's
Sorry? Yeah, that's where I was going with that joke. So congrats on guessing that. Sarazen shot a 58 here, apparently.
No way.
I'm just making that up.
Okay.
I
Gonna
actually
say how many of those 58 were drops? Come on with that. It's
Yes.
always the Maple Leafs tying the game every.
Yeah. No, it's the oldest club in the United States. Just chills. Country club, that is.
Is it really?
Per Wikipedia.
Wikipedia's never been wrong.
Held a couple US Opens 100+ years ago.
They really held the US Open. I know that.
Yes.
1907.
Such a woke goal. Jason Day is not in the field. He dropped out, actually. We saw some egregious Malbon attire today. That brand needs to make its way out of the sport, in my opinion.
Shrink.
Yes. Shrink the game from Malbon Motive Apparel. Please.
It's funny. Like a fan was wearing Malvin.
Yes.
That's
Fan was wearing Malbon, and it was a fan way too old to be wearing Malbon.
okay.
Yes.
Nice. That's it seems like you got a taste of everything today then.
Yeah. Something I've noticed from the waste management and here, there is not a single brand of hat that you see more than Good Good.
Really?
Yeah. More than Titleist. More than, I'm trying to think what would be second. It's probably Titleist second, but
High Flyers third.
yes, yes. But it's a lot of people are wearing Good Good.
Good, good. Yeah.
So, I mean, congrats to them. I mean, they've done a good job with their branding and everything. I mean, I don't mind them by any means. I think that they're great for this for a different demographic of the sport. I'm not I had no problem with the good guys playing in the classic today. I did have a problem with some of the others who played in the creator classic today. But we don't have to get into that. But yeah, just very interesting. I think there's a few. Michael Block is sponsored by Good Good. He'll be wearing Good Good at the PGA.
God. Forgot
Yes.
he's in the field next week.
Yes, he
So
is.
shall be a missed cut for the block.
Most likely, yes.
Hopefully he catches a case of the Tillery block.
Well said.
Trades holes with the Harmon hook.
Speed slice.
Speed slice. The yeah. No Scheffler straights for block next week.
No. No,
So
not at all. But that's all I have.
that's all I got.
It'll be a nice night's sleep from us two. And then we will be there bright and early. With not that early, but it'll still be early. For me, considering I'm still operating on Pacific time, but the adjustment will be made. Any last thoughts, Jordan?
Not too much. Just looking at the pins, trying to figure out what might be cool. No, excited. It's a fun week to see a new course. I kind of said on the pod all the time, it gets kind of boring watching the same courses week in and week out. So something fresh is always appreciated.
Yeah.
Agree.
Well said. I'm excited to tune in when I can. And hopefully it's 4 solid days and some contention on the weekend
Yeah.
for you fellows.
Agree.
So,
Always a pleasure talking with you, Dan.
yes, sir.
Hopefully we're back on here Sunday night.
Yes. Why not?
Would be chills.
Why not?
Yes. Could be chills. But that's all we have. Thanks for tuning in. Glad we could get boots on the ground this week. And hopefully we can bring good content to you guys all 4 days. So
Love that.
peace. Yes, Dan. Great.